Greetings and salutations, good citizens. I am Laz. This is the Fortress. And I am here to give you my opinion of the recently ended Amazon series, Invincible. Now, for those of you who don't know, Invincible is based off of a comic book by Robert Kirkman, the writer of Walking Dead. This is volume 1 of the compendium I got a few years ago on off of Amazon. I don't know if it's still on there, but that's where I got mine. Comes in 3 volumes, big giant phone book size sets, and they're well done. So let you know, I showed that just so you can see I am a fan of the comic. I do enjoy the Invincible. And for those of you who don't know, Invincible is the adventures of Mark Grayson, who finds out, not finds out, but yeah, Mark Grayson, his father's a superhero named Omni-Man. Omni-Man is basically their analog of Superman. And Mark, on his 17th birthday, finally gets his powers and becomes costume hero Invincible. So that's the basis. Now the Amazon series, which did just end, it's all animated. Yeah, leave my thoughts. Before I do give you my thoughts though, do want to let you know, there may be spoilers. I'm going to try to avoid that as much as possible, but there may be spoilers. So if you don't want to know if you want to walk in a Invincible blind, don't want to have any notions in your head or any you don't want to be influenced. You don't have your opinion influenced. You want to walk in and watch it straight. Hit pause. Go binge watch on Amazon. It's free if you have Prime, and come on back. Or if you don't give a rat's rear end, and you just want to listen to my fat mouth talk, even better. Before I start though, just before I start, I'd like to cleanse my palate. Do we have a picture of Justin Bieber? There he is. All right. Now, okay, so the Invincible show, it's about, I think, 5 or 6 episodes. Please forgive me for not, counting fully, but I think it's 6. The animation is really good. Really enjoyed it. The voice cast is amazing, except for the character Cecil. To me, he sounds really young. In my head, when I read the comics, I would picture Ed Asner, who I believe has passed, so I can understand why I didn't cast him, but that's who I always heard in my head. So someone within his age group would have been better, I think. But again, the show is basically about Mark becoming a superhero, learning the ropes from his father. I'm trying to see how I can put this without not spoil anything. Okay, something big happens. Like there's a big event, big tragedy in the superhero community, and there's ramifications for that. And Mark is going to have to deal with that, and throughout the way, like his life keeps changing. He has to learn about responsibilities being a superhero, how to use his powers, the whole secret identity thing, and fight new villains, learn basically how to take a punch to a degree, or at least how to fight people who don't care that he's a teenager, so to speak. He gets a lady, he gets a girlfriend. Make some friends, and then the ending of the show is a big finale. Well, season finale. Okay, that is the overlay. I'm going to give you my review now, which is this. I enjoy the show. I really do. I enjoyed it. It's a very solid 8.5 out of 10 for me. Doesn't quite make that B range. Like it's very close, but there's something to knock it down. And I'll say why when I get to my spoiler review in a few minutes. But, begging your pardon. But all in all, it's a really fun show. The action in it is really good. It's mature, so it's not for kids. Parents, don't let your kids watch this, or let them watch it if you're gonna watch it with them. And whatever, I don't care. I'm not a parent, but I'm just saying, don't walk into it thinking it's gonna be like Saturday morning cartoons. You can lots of cursing, lots of blood, lots of violence, things like that. But all in all, I enjoyed it. I very much will look forward to season 2. So, that is the spoiler-free review. So now I'm going to start going into a bit by bit, at least my thoughts on what worked, what didn't work. And for that, there's going to be spoilers. So now, if you want no spoilers, if you want spoiler-free, stop. Man, come on back once you watch the show. If you want to finish this episode. So I'm giving you ready. All right. In 3, 2, 1. All right. Spoilers are coming. Okay. So this being a show, I expected the reveal of On the Man, Mark's father, being let me backtrack. I'm sorry. The big superhero incident that I mentioned in the non-spoiler version of this was the Guardians of the Globe, which is basically this universe's analog to the Justice League of America. Actual good superheroes. Here go. I know the Marvel fanboys are coming at me, but whatever. They all get slaughtered by somebody. They all get slaughtered, and then everyone's trying to figure who did it for a bit. But we, as the audience, know they were killed by Mark's father, Omni-Man. And we don't find out the reason until the last episode. I knew why. I read the damn comics. But they were killed because Omni-Man's an alien, and his world is full of superpowered conquerors. And they sent him, but they spread their universe. They spread the empire too thin, so they started sending like one candidate to a planet so that they could take out the defenses and get them ready for. I always get these names wrong. Viltrumite rule. If I'm not pronouncing that wrong, you can give me crap in the comments, but I always get it wrong. I know I always pronounce it wrong. Even when I read it in the comments. Anywho, there's fallout from that, clearly. Because you find out that basically the Nick Fury of this universe, Cecil, who runs the superheroes and runs the agencies and stuff, he knows, but he can't do anything about it because Omni-Man is the most powerful being on the planet, especially after the Guardians of the Globe died. Which, by the way, that was a vicious sequence. For those of you who read the comic, it happens quick. Like, it's just... That fight was brutal. And well done. So very well done. And then... Not too much later, Mark's mom, Debbie, figures it out. And her and Omni-Man have like an argument, and then Omni-Man's like, screw this, I'm going to go find my kid and give him a chat. Episode 1 breaks down, pretty much like the comics, like Mark, kid in school, he gets beaten up by the school bully, and somehow him getting his butt kicked by the school bully gets him the attention and the number of the most annoying character on the show. Criminally annoying. Criminally because of this. Okay. Before I start, I want to make something clear. I don't give a rat's ass that Amber was white in the comics and black in the cartoon. Don't care. For one, and usually that doesn't annoy me because I'm one of these idiots. I'm sorry, but I know I'm not the only one who feels that, if a character in anything, mostly comics, because comics is a visual medium. So when you adapt something from comics to film or TV or what have you, and we know what these people look like, that's what we want to see as fans. We don't want changes. No group of people wants change when it comes to their fandom. Not one. But in this case, I really didn't care because Amber in the comic, I might get some crap for this, and if I do, but this is the way I feel, is that she's kind of a blank slate. Like, she doesn't, like, her only purpose is that she's Mark's first girlfriend, and she delays him getting with somebody else. And I'm going to try to keep that as spoiler-free as possible. Whilst I will give spoilers, I'm only going to give spoilers for what happened in Season 1, not what will happen in the future. I'm going to try to keep that as best as possible. So Amber in the comics, she's just there, like, she's nice and friendly and fun and all that stuff. So I'm not saying she's a badly written character, but she's not really breaking any ground. She's not exciting. She's just there. So in the show, when apparently someone decided we're going to make Amber a black lady. And I went, all right. So I saw and when she showed up, I'm like, that's not Amber. She doesn't really have a character. Okay, let's see what they do. And now, if they kept her close to the comics, I would have been fine. And I mean that as in, if she was still nice, friendly, fun, understanding. If they kept that, fine. But no. Not only do they race swap her, they make her, she's just a walking SJW meme. She's walking around like she reads Ta-Nehisi Coates, because yay, racism. And she's all about social justice, and she's like literally she's a freaking stereotype of SJWs, like one after the other. And she is the nastiest human being on the show. I'm including villains in this list. Like, she's just unlikable. Absolutely unlikable. It got so bad to the point where when she showed up on camera, I would mute. And I'm sure people are like, well, who can you mute it? How do you not know what she's saying? I'm like, I read the comic. I know what she's saying, or at least give it a take. And I can see your bitch face. I can pretty much I can guess what's going on. And that annoyed me because, again, I went from not having an opinion on Amber in the comics to not standing her in the show. That's bad writing. This isn't like Joffrey in Game of Thrones, where the writing and the acting made him the most annoying person on that show, and you wanted to see him die for how many years. And I didn't blame the actor on that one, or the writing, because he was well written, and the kid was so good acting-wise, made me hate him. In wrestling terms, that's heat. Amber is cheap heat. She has X-Pac heat. Where I just don't want her I don't want her on my TV at all. Period. I could care less if she was white, brown, yellow, freaking purple, yellow polka dots. I don't care. You write someone that annoying, get them off my TV. Don't want them. So I want to get that out of the way. And I was surprised because one of the things they did I thought was really cool about the show was they introduced, like, you see the Guardians of the Globe in action, which you don't ever see in the comics. So I thought that was sweet. Like, you see them stay at the White House, and you see how they all use their powers and how they work as a team, and On-The-Man, and they have a relationship with On-The-Man. So they set that up. It was really well done. Like, I was really happy with that. And also, they somehow did it and skirted any copyright strike they would have gotten from DC Comics. Because again, they're the Justice League, and it's not one of those things where you have to squint to see it. No, no. It's blatant who they are. But they did it in a way where you're not gonna, where they can't get sued, but holy crap, it's more of an homage, but holy crap, it's not subtle. So when they go down, and On-the-Man kills them, I was surprised that they reveal that in the first episode, because this is a series. I thought they were going to milk that throughout the entire show. Like, I really thought, like, on episode 5, you would find out, oh crap, or maybe episode 3, you would find out, oh, he killed the Guardians. Crap in a hat. And I'm not going to get into too much of, well, they didn't do this in the comics. Why did they do that? Because I always get the, you can't be just like the comics. Why do you always have to compare things to the comics? Well, because they're based off of something, and this is how this works. You make a movie based off a book or a comic or what have you. I'm going to compare the two. I'm sorry. That's how it works. But in this case, they didn't really mess up stuff too bad. Like, they didn't do stuff where I went, what? Why? I'm like, every Marvel movie, other than Iron Man 1 and Winter Soldier. Every other one, I was like, what? Why? Beat that as me. Hell, you should watch me trying to sit through Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. You want to see someone go insane about bad adaptations? Yeah, I should videotape that, put it on my channel. Anyway, so I'm not going to compare and contrast. I'm sure you can find plenty of videos that do that. I'm not interested in that, really, just because, all in all, they got the spirit of the comic, except for Amber. But everything else got the spirit of the comic down really good. I got to see some characters. I wanted to see, like, this character named Battle Beast, who was just an insane badass. And that made me happy that he was in there, because I was like, that's a little early, I think, but they kind of messed with the timeline from the comics to the TV show. Last 2 episodes, On-the-Man is on his way. Well, he's trying to find Mark to tell him, hey, this is who we are, this is what I did, you need to help me take over Earth and prepare them for our people coming in and take them over. And Cecil keeps trying to do everything he can to stop him, or at least slow him down. And just the look on the man's face, like his look of annoyance, and J.K. Simmons' delivery in it, like his vocal performance of it is just perfect. And I was amazed when I heard they cast him, because when I was reading the comic, his was the voice I always gave on the man. So when they said that, I'm like, what? Really? All right, because I don't know why my voice, my head, when I read comics anyway, my brain will pick a voice for somebody. And for him, it was J.K. Simmons' voice. So I was kind of J.K. Simmons. No, I said, no, I'm right. J.K. Simmons. Yeah, no, I'm right. Okay. So I always heard that in my head. So thought that was kind of cool. But and he starts beating the piss out of Mark, because Mark refuses after they kill basically Cthulhu. After Mark and On-the-Man defeat Cthulhu, because Mark doesn't know why this thing's attacking his dad, blah blah blah. And then Mark then refuses to help him take over the world, and he takes a swing, and then On-the-Man just beats the crap out of his son, and it's vicious. It's way more brutal than it was in the comics. Like, at one point, he punches Mark basically through Chicago. And Mark tries to hold up a building. There's a family in there, and he can't hold it up, and the building collapses, and the people he tried to save die, whatever. And then he's like Mark, like on the man shows up and Mark's like, oh god, and he's like, there's blood all over him. And he's like, Mark's like almost cat-eyed because he's just in shock. And on the man's like, so seeing these people hurt or killed or in pain messes with you, huh? Wait. Grabs Mark, shoves him, like basically punches him through the ground into the subway system. Comes down, grabs Mark as there's an oncoming train coming around him, and he just holds Mark out like this. He goes like the train goes through that, like basically the train goes like basically wraps around them because they're both just Superman basically, and he's just standing there and people are just flying by him in pieces and they're all dying. And I'm like, oh my god, that is a dick move. I applaud you, sir. Then finally, as Alan Man is just kicking the crap out of Mark, he kind of knocks him in the Himalayas and he's punching him. And like Mark's all just bloody, whatever. And Ahmed keeps saying, in 50 years, because their people's race, their people's aging slows, is much slower than humans. Ahmed keeps trying to say, like, when you're 50, everyone on this planet's going to be dead. Everyone you know will be dead in dust. And finally he says, why are you trying to protect them? What will you have left? Who will you have? You have nobody. And Mark's sitting there all bloody, broken out, his jaw's all like, he's like, I'd have you. Now the man stops and then realizes, oh, fuck beans, and flies off. And and then you see Mark getting he's in the hospital, blah blah. And of course Amber shows up and she's all, oh Mark, I saw it, because she knows he's a superhero, which I'll put a pin in that. And then it ends with Mark telling a character named Alan the Alien, who's basically a surveyor for his planet, his people, and he comes to Earth. He was coming to Earth to fight the Earth's protector, and Invincible was there, and they fight for a little bit. Then they just have a talk, and he finds out, oh crap, this is Earth. I thought this was Urath. And then when he comes back, he's, oh wait, found out this is a Viltrumite planet. At least it's been marked, so danger. And Vince was like, yeah, I know, thanks. So they have a chat, and then you see like a bunch of characters, living their lives and getting back to normal and stuff. And then a good ending. It was a really good ending. I enjoyed it. Now for the pros and cons of the show, at least reason why I gave it an 8.5, instead of like a B or even an A, if I liked it so much. Character-wise, they got a lot of people right. Like, Mark was perfect-ish. I'll explain that in a bit. His father, Nolan / On the Man, my favorite character in the show, by the way. Yes, he's basically evil Superman, but as you can tell, I'm a Superman guy, and it wasn't. Like, I'm tired of every other bit of media from DC now. Like, is like, oh, here's a big twist. Superman's evil, and I'm sitting there, again? Like, it worked in Injustice, because Injustice had enough shock moments for have you go, oh, crap, all right. And for me, like, evil Superman was a fascinating and terrifying idea because nobody would stop him. I don't care how many bat people are going, no, whatever. No, he wouldn't. like Injustice, he didn't stop him. He had to go to freaking our reality, the DC reality, to go in and grab them because he was, yeah, everyone's dead. So to me, the idea of Superman being evil is an intriguing idea and terrifying, and it should be explored, but not to the point where DC just keeps doing it, and it feels like, oh yeah, Superman's evil, I got it, yeah, move on. Whereas, but On the Man is not Superman, so it's an analog, so it's all right, and it's done really well. And he feels like Superman to a degree, so it works. I loved Adam Eve. Robot was perfect. Like Zachary Quinto was perfect casting as Robot. Um, this group of these two villains, the Mauler twins, I like them a lot. I liked Cecil again. Didn't like his voice, but the performance was tremendous, and he was written like Cecil. So I can't complain about anything other than the voice. That's just a personal thing. I like Debbie. I like Mark's mom. I thought she was cool. Very realistic. Love the fact that they got Mark Hamill to be the the superhero tailor. I thought that was tremendous. Mark's friend, whose name I could never remember. I can't remember it right now. And I've read the comic quite a few times. I'm going to shoot with Alan, and if I'm right, hooray. If I'm not, my editor will put it in right about here, what his real name is. I just always blank out his name. I found him annoying, but didn't like him in the comic either. And no, internet trolls is not because he's gay. Don't care he's gay. It's just in the comics, before he comes out of the closet, because it takes a while for him to come out of the closet in the comics, he was just annoying and very needy and very clingy with Mark. And I'm like, ugh, God, shut up. I would smack you on principle. And the show, same thing. Now, my dislikes, let me go back to Invincible. In the comics, and I could be wrong, and nerds, comic book fans, if you've read the comics, you feel free to correct me. But, the way I remember it anyway, Mark doesn't get a serious beating once he gets his powers until he gets the crap knocked out of him by his father. I'm not saying he doesn't take any punches or doesn't get hurt or whatever. That much happens, yes, but he doesn't get hospitalized until his father does it. Because if I remember correctly, his fight with him joining Titan and fighting Machine Head and his group of bad guys, and then him calling in Battle Beast, and Battle Beast is wiping the floor with everybody. I believe that happens after Omni-Man goes to heel, leaves the planet. I could be wrong, but again, this show kind of messes up my own timeline. But I believe that's right. Anywho, in the show, Mark gets his ass kicked every episode. Like every episode, he gets knocked the crap out, and I'm like, all right, you're the hero. Could you not get the crap knocked out of you? Like I don't know what they were going for. If they're going for the whole, well, he's new, so he doesn't quite know what he's doing. This is the hero's journey. Fine, but he's now the second strongest, no, probably the third strongest person on the planet. He's just got his power, so I don't know if he's stronger than the Immortal yet. But if he's like in the top 5 strongest people on the planet Earth, all you gotta do is throw a punch, and you're winning half your fights. But no, he gets his crap knocked out of him by everybody. So that annoyed me, honestly. So I kept thinking, if he was Captain Marvel, he would have just been perfect the entire series, and then suddenly remembered just exactly how much perfecter he was than he was perfect beforehand. So yes, that annoyed me. Amber. Like a big thing in the comics was when Mark reveals to her that he's invincible. So it was like a big moment, and it had her trust him because she thought he was a drug dealer. Because in the comics he has Cecil gave him a beeper, so she thought he was so. And kids, a beeper back in the day was this device that people had, and people will call it, and then we would get their phone number on this LED device here, and the thing will beep beep beep, and we look at it and go, oh, we need to call so and so. So in the comics it was like this big thing. So oh, that makes more sense. You're not a drug dealer, sweet. In the in the show, so like, yeah, I know you're a superhero. I don't care. I've always known you're a superhero, but you didn't trust me. And I'm sitting there going, do you not know how the secret identity works? Do the writers not know? Have they all just, watched Marvel movies where nobody has a goddamn secret identity? Because secret identities work because this way people don't know you're a superhero and you can protect your friends and family. And if one of your enemies found out that someone who does not have superpowers knows that you're a superhero, they're going after them because they're a target. Superhero 101. She's all, why didn't you trust me? I'm like, he just met you! You've been dating for what? 3 months? Maybe? Not being nice? Really? You made out. That's about it. He hasn't gotten second base yet. Like right now, you're growing buddies without the growing part. I mean, you're still in the newlywed, basically in the newlywed phase, but no. That would make no sense for him to go, oh, by the way, I'm invincible. Just here. She's like, no, fly away, Superboy, fly away. And I'm just, oh, please, just die. And it made it even worse because he was supposed to meet her at a soup kitchen because she works at a soup kitchen because, why not? And he doesn't show up because he was put in the hospital by Battle Beast. And Adam Eve finds out, doesn't tell Amber that, oh, Mark was hit by a bus or something. Then later on, she's still getting, like, when she finds out in the cover stories that he was hit by a bus or a car or whatever, and she's still giving him crap. I'm like, how do you expect the man to give you a call if he's in the hospital in a coma? You selfish twat waffle. How does that even work? So her knowing, I'm like, oh, of course you did. But she didn't know Adam Eve, that she didn't know that her friend Eve was Adam Eve, and I'm like, she doesn't wear a mask. How'd you not put that together, you moron? Also, my biggest complaint with the show, other than Amber, is the sudden SJW-ness. It's in there. It's in there in ways where I'm like, why? Like, there's a character named Doc Seismic who's kind of a minor to medium villain. Like, he starts off as a joke and he builds up. But he's like, I don't know, in his 80s, maybe? Between 70s and 80s. And he shows up and he's all like, oh, I studied social justice or credit whatever, and like he's critiquing Adam Eve's costume for being too showy and she's just wearing it to for the boys, and like he just goes on this rant. And I'm sort of going, what? No, the dude. That makes no sense. Where did that come from? And that would happen like intermittently in the show, where I was just like, all right, whatever, because got to get the political message in here somewhere. She just can't let people have fun. So then that will always knock things down for me. When I watch stuff, if I'm watching like I say, if I'm watching a political thriller or something that's set in the real world, and that's set in the real world, and it has something to do with our politics or something to that effect, something written by Oliver Stone, basically. Something with some of that feel. If I walk in, they make political statements, whatever, fine. That's what the movie is. That's what I'm walking in on. Cool. And I don't mind allegory either, but writers somehow forgot what metaphor and allegory is. They just forgot how to use it, apparently. And also, you can't... I'll say that for later. But, so, if I'm watching a cartoon about a superhero, like a superhero cartoon, I don't want politics. I don't want SJW nonsense. I want a show that can make me turn off my brain for a half hour to 45 minutes, which is their job, which they've been failing at. Because I don't want to be reminded how crap life is outside. I want to unplug my brain and I go, and live in this world for a bit. Nothing on that note, though. Again, I will say, great show. Really do enjoy it. If you like your superhero shows, more adult theme, bloody, violent, with a bit more of an edge, but still with more of a DC feel, kind of, to me anyway. I guess kind of it's almost like if DC and Marvel, comic book wise, is merged. I say almost because, like to me, Marvel's always about, we need to be realistic. We need realistic superheroes. I'm the guy going, if you blow up, if the guy is at ground zero of a nuclear explosion, he's not getting superpowers. He's dead. But whatever. But I mean, that's just me. But it does feel kind of like that. It's almost merged, because while it's just not hyper realistic like Marvel can be, it's more realistic than DC was in its heyday. But the heroes are more hopeful, more iconic, so to speak. They have more of that iconic feel, more like godly feel, or legends feel like DC characters have for me. So all in all, I would say if you want a show with a good hard edge that still has superhero fantasy elements, a lot of it, and fighting and comedy and all that goodness, give this a shot. Give this a watch if you haven't yet. Until next time, good citizens. Same last time, same last channel.